For a lot of Hyundai Ioniq 5 owners, one of their biggest complaints is that when they introduced it with no rear windshield wiper. Now, if you live somewhere where it's really snowy, where you got a lot of dirt roads, this thing just gets absolutely covered. Unless you're washing it on a daily basis, it's almost impossible to see out the back window. However, one Ioniq 5 owner from Switzerland said enough is enough. He was inspired by his wife, and that's why he invented the GeckoWiper. With just 2 simple clicks of this remote that magnetically attaches to your Ioniq 5 dashboard, you will then get 2 swipes across the back window of your Hyundai Ioniq 5, thus clearing any rain or snow that has built up in the last few minutes. So the owner of the company, Robert, was kind enough to send me this pre-production unit for testing and to share with all of you on my channel. So in today's video, we're going to talk about how it mounts to your car, how it operates, and overall what I think of it. So if you guys want to find out more, then stay tuned. So a lot of you Ioniq 5 owners might have seen this on YouTube already. His video announcing this product already has about 50,000 or more views at the time you're watching this video. So it's gained a little bit of publicity in the last few weeks since that video came out. But when I saw it, I knew I had to take a look at it and share it with you guys on my channel. Now, just to preface everything you're going to hear in this video, I'm not being paid whatsoever to sponsor this product. All Robert did here is send me the device and explain to me a little bit about its development. As somebody who worked in engineering and also sells his own products, I know what it's like to develop something. And when I see something that I think is really cool and actually solves a real world problem, I want to share it with you guys. This is a pre-production unit, so this does not represent final production quality. The housing here is 3D printed. The final production version will be injection molded. But what I'm going to show you today, installation and operation, are going to remain mostly the same when it does go into full production. Now, this is launching on Kickstarter, so if you are interested and want to pre-order this, you can go down into the description of this video, click the link, and then you will be taken to Robert's Kickstarter. I did chat with the creator of this on the phone the other day. Very nice man. He is an engineer by education, and this is just the culmination of years of work for him. He's been working on it in all of his free time, and he's finally ready to launch it. Now he just needs the funds from the Kickstarter to go into full serial production of the GeckoWiper. He does also have plans to launch this for all the other EVs that are coming out that don't have rear windshield wipers. Now here's the sad part. I can't give this a full test campaign. I'm not able to test this in the winter time. It's currently September, so there's no snow, there's no crappy weather like that. And unfortunately, the weather for the last 3 weeks has been absolutely perfect. I've never seen such a nice stretch of weather in New England in my entire life. And for the foreseeable future, at least the next 10 days, it looks to be exactly the same. So all we're gonna be able to do today in terms of testing the GeckoWiper is gonna be utilizing a hose. So that's the best I can do, unfortunately, but I can't control the weather just yet. Now, in talking with Robert, his inspiration for the GeckoWiper came when his wife was driving their Ioniq 5 on the Autobahn in Germany. He was telling me one day his wife came home and said that she was kind of scared because she couldn't see out the back window on the Autobahn. People will come up you with a speed differential of 150 kilometers per hour, 100 kilometers per hour, what have you, and it can just be really startling. And she wishes she was able to see out the back window, which she couldn't. So Robert said, you know what? Let me develop something. And it kind of just turned into this labor of love to develop an aftermarket solution. So that's enough backstory. Let me show you guys how you would install this on your car. So first things first, you're gonna want a nice clean window. So I've got some quick detailer here. I don't have any glass cleaner with me, but you're just gonna spray it down, give it a nice wipe, especially towards this section here where the suction cup is going to mount. And obviously it's gonna be better to start with a nice clean surface anyway to give the windshield wiper the best chance possible to clean the window. All right. So that looks pretty good. So looking at the GeckoWiper, you're gonna notice on the back it says strong magnet. That's because other than just being suction mounted via this little small pump, on the inside of the rear window, you will be putting a very strong magnet that if this were to fail, this is not going to fall off your car and harm somebody that's following you. You will also notice on the bottom here, there is a covered USB-C port. This is how you're going to recharge the device. Robert claims 6 months of battery life, and that's using it intermittently, not using it continuously. So don't have unrealistic expectations about how long the battery will work, but all you gotta do to charge it is simply pull it off the back of the car, plug it in for a little while, and then you're good to go for another 6 months. So Robert does recommend putting some water or some sort of liquid on the spot where the suction cup is going to mount. This is going to help the vacuum form a nice tight seal. So I'm just going to take my quick detailer here, just spritz that area, keep it nice and moist. And then all you're going to do is you're going to find the center point of the back of your window, put it on and push down, and then give it a couple pumps. This is going to give you a little bit of leeway when you're adjusting it. So you're going to be able to rotate this a little bit, and that's because you need to adjust the angle of the swipe so that it's not hitting the paint of the car. So I'm going to go ahead right now, I'm going to turn it on and see where the wiper blade falls and see if it's actually hitting the paint or not. So you can see it's a little high over here and it's a little low over here. So all I'm going to do is twist it just a smidge. And we will go ahead and give it a couple more clicks. Honestly, that looks pretty good. Might be able to move it down just a hair. And we'll check it again. That's giving you a little bit more coverage of the entire windshield. All right, so that looks pretty good. So all we're gonna do now is we're gonna come over here, give that a couple more pumps, and the suction cup is pretty much good to go. Now what we need to do is go on the inside of the trunk and mount the magnet. So because this magnet is so strong, what you're gonna wanna do to mount it is you're gonna put it over here on the side, and then you're gonna slowly bring it in, and then you will feel that magnet catch, and you can see just how strong it is. I'm able to pull on it and actually physically close the trunk lid. So this thing is going to really hold in place in an emergency situation. Now, when you do get your GeckoWiper, the wiper blade will be detached, and all you gotta do to mount that is simply put it right there, push down on that, and then you can push it down. Now, I know from reading the comments, a lot of you said, why didn't he mount it up high? Well, the most basic answer is that up high is going to block more of your view, and I will attest that with this mounted, it really doesn't hinder rearward visibility. I just drove back to Connecticut from Boston, and there wasn't a single point in the drive where I said, yeah, this is really kind of detrimental to my view. So I don't think that's a problem at all. As far as looks on the exterior of the Ioniq 5, yeah, it's a little big, but for those of you who value function over form, you're not gonna really care. Obviously, it's not gonna look as clean as an OEM rear windshield wiper because all the motor components are mounted in the housing located behind it. So all that stuff you see on the exterior over there is right here under this plastic. And you can kind of see some of the bulging there where that motor is. Now, just for ha-has, let's go ahead, disengage the vacuum back here and see how well the magnet actually works. So I'm gonna squeeze these two little arms. You can see the vacuum just gave way. And if I push on this, yeah, it moves a little bit, but wow. I'm pulling pretty hard and it's not coming off. And that's because even with the vacuum disengaged, there's still a little bit of suction on the suction cup. So pulling up, it still won't come off. The only way it's going to completely disengage the suction is if I grab one of these tabs here and lift up. But even if you're on an extremely bumpy road, this magnet is strong enough that this is not going to fall off. These are the same suction cups that people use to mount roof racks to their cars, that cinematographers use for mounting cameras to the exterior of vehicles. So these things are pretty robust. So now that we've got it mounted, I've showed you what it looks like and how it functions. Let's go ahead and test it with the hose. So we'll soak the windshield first. Press it a couple times. It's pretty clean. So I've got the hose going, blasting the back window, and we're gonna go ahead and turn it on and see what it looks like from the inside of the car. It's doing a really good job. You can see just how covered the back window on this car actually gets. So you can see that it will stop itself if it does hit an obstacle, but all you gotta do to reset it is just press the button twice. again, and it will kind of reset its swipe and then move back to the home position again. Now, Robert did say this is going to carry a 2-year warranty, so if anything happens in those first 2 years, you're gonna be okay. If you back the Kickstarter and it doesn't get fully funded, you get your money back. So it's kind of a low risk situation here. He is ready to go into production, so it sounds like this is coming to market relatively soon. So I'm not gonna tell you guys to buy this or not buy it. I can't say this is a full review because I've only had it for a few weeks and I haven't even driven it in the rain. So I will leave that up to you guys to figure out in the next few months. So I am gonna go ahead and continue testing this over the next few months, at least until I get rid of this Ioniq 5 and get the 2025 Ioniq 5, which is gonna have the rear wiper, so I'm not gonna need this anymore. But anyway, it seems to be a very nice product. It works well, it does what it's advertised to do. And if you guys really hate the fact that your Ioniq 5 doesn't have a wiper, this is pretty much the only option on the market. He does have a patent pending on this, so he's likely gonna be the only person making it for a while. So anyway, guys, if you liked today's video, give it a thumbs up. Check out my store at ioniqguy.com for cool accessories for your Hyundai, Kia, or Genesis EV. And as always, I will see you guys in the next one. Take care, everyone.